Hey there, welcome back to Oops, I Planted Again. My name is Courtney, and in today's video, I am going to be doing all of the plant chores that I don't like doing or that I avoid for long periods of time because I don't enjoy doing them, even though I know they're going to make me feel so much better once I actually do them. And yeah, I just need to do them, and I'm going to take you along with me as I do all of those things today. Here we have a bunch of these plastic bins that I feel like more so in 2021 when I started propagating a ton of plants at one time and growing a lot of different things, these were really useful and they still are. However, I don't use them really as much at all now. I only use a few in my grow tent and the rest just sit in a back corner filled up with just like dirt and mess. So we need to clean these out. The next thing is like the biggest thing that I hate doing, even though I know it's literally going to make me feel so much better after it's done, and it's going to help me in the future with repotting plants. So I have a very bad habit, and please let me know in the comments if you're like me. If I'm repotting or moving things around with my plants, I tend to just like chuck the old container into one of these boxes in the back depths of this room. And then I have so many dirty pots. And then when I actually do repot and I need one, they're all dirty. So I have to run downstairs outside, clean it off really quick, and then come all the way back upstairs to do it, which is just a pain in the ass. So if I actually have them all clean and organized, then I wouldn't have to do that. Another thing that would probably be helpful for me is to kind of like clean out. I'm saying clean out, but really I'm just trying to do light organization in my garage because I have the space in there to store all this stuff, but it's a mess in there with a bunch of plant crap and stuff that I don't use anymore. So if I could at least clean everything, I feel like, one, I won't be buying more things because I do have those things clean and ready. And two, it's going to be more organized and easier for me to find things and also clear up more space in this room to just help it be cleaner longer. Because the reason I feel like this room is messy all the time, even when I do my cleans, is that it's unorganized. And I also have this habit of like holding on to stuff that I don't need to. Like, it's not that serious. I feel like during like the pandemic and like 2021 and maybe early 2022, I feel like I was low-key hoarding like plant stuff and like cups and just stuff that it's just like it's not that serious. And I like recycle and give away a ton of stuff as much as I possibly can. And hopefully I can find a place or someone who wants a bunch of plant stuff. I did do this maybe like a couple months ago, so I'll probably do it again over on my TikTok, because I don't have Facebook and I don't use Instagram at all, and just be like, hey, I have buckets of plant stuff. Please come get this totally for free, because then that just helps me become more organized and helps just like free up clutter. And I don't know if I mentioned this in any of my videos previously before this one, but I'm planning on moving this year and I want to slowly start getting rid of stuff, and I would rather start that process now, even if I don't move in another like 8 months, just because I don't want to have to like throw away a bunch of stuff that's actually still useful at the last minute because I can get rid of it. So yeah, this is probably the most taxing and major task that we have to do today. And there's also a few plants that I need to repot that I've been avoiding for far too long. There's some pest treatments that we need to do that I just don't feel like doing, but I'm going to do. And I think what I'm actually going to do is use one of these bins, because I did this a lot last year and the year before when I was getting spider mites and stuff a lot more. I will take one of these bins, obviously clean it out, but I will do a solution of dish soap and water and Captain Jack's, and I'll like really drench and soak the plant. I'll rinse it off first, and then I'll do like the dunking and kind of let it sit for a little bit. and then repot everything. So that's another thing, or those are the other things that we have to do today. Those are like the major tasks that they're just like taxing, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to put on a patch on my back so that I don't fall over and my back hurts. And yeah, let's get into it. It's the next day, and cleaning all of those containers was very taxing, and I already like suffer from chronic back pain, so I was in a lot of pain and I was so tired. It took me literally hours to clean all of those containers, and then I just laid down because I was so exhausted. So today, since it's the next day, I realized that some of the repotting that I wanted to do requires soil, because I want to, this plant back here, my Alocasia Pink Dragon, I wanted to repot that, but I wanted to do like a perlite soil, because it's fine in soil, but it's really dry right now, as you can see. And I also wanted to treat it with systemic, but I want to give it fresh soil, because that's the original soil that I was in when I got it from, did I get it in 2021 or 2022? I don't know. I've had it for a while. It's been totally fine, but I wanted to do systemic, and that requires fresh soil, which I don't have. I ordered some more today, and it's not going to be here until Monday. So with that, the plants that I wanted to keep in soil to repot, that I don't really feel like doing it, but I know it's going to make me feel better, I can't even do it for this video because I don't have soil. But I do have some other plants that I can work on, but they require fresh leca. So I have this box, and if you see my video about leca, I think it was my video before this, I talked about one of the things I hate, like re-cleaning leca and doing all of that, but we're gonna do that. I'm gonna go do that really quickly downstairs, and then we're gonna water the plants that need to be watered, because I'm not gonna end up repotting them, and then we're just gonna spray them down with Captain Jack's, because I don't want to give them systemic if I don't have the soil, because that's just the way that I like to do it with the systemic. So let's get into it. So I have 2 neon pothos that I'm going to repot so they're not getting systemic. My Scindapsus exotica is getting systemic because that is not getting repotted at all. I just repotted it, and then my pink dragon scale is not getting systemic. So I already did the systemic part, and then I usually rinse down all of my plants beforehand. And I'll say that none of these have any pests or anything, but I wanted to do some preventative maintenance for these plants. So
Usually I will shower all of the plants before I do any preventative, just because I think it's like an added layer of security. Because if you spray it off, it's likely that that'll at least get rid of something. And plus, all of these plants needed to be watered anyways because they were extremely dry. And then I got my Captain Jacks and sprayed down all of the leaves. I sprayed the top and the bottom. You just can't see because I ended up like having to like readjust the container because it was close to empty. So I just spray every inch of all of the plants and the soil as well for these plants. And then you just follow the directions for using the Captain Jacks for whatever amount that you're going to use for your plants. And this is the Captain Jacks Dead Bug Brew. So this Monstera is already actively with spider mites. You can tell by the damage on the leaves. And honestly, if I don't end up saving this plant, it's okay, but I'm still going to treat it properly with a proper solution. And then we have my Black Velvet Alocasia, my dear plant that continues to get spider mites. It's growing 2 flowers right now and a new leaf, but the spider mites are still whooping my ass with this plant. So we are going to treat it. So the first step I do with these 2 plants, like I said earlier, I spray down my plants with just the shower. And then after that, I use a mix of 3-to-1 with rubbing alcohol and water to combat those spider mites. And then I do Captain Jacks, and then I just let them sit overnight. And that's all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed this, and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any future videos, and I'll see you in the next one.